receive you in this house. As a matter of fact, when I went through the Liberal Manifesto, which was composed, I understand, in Oxford in 1947, I was delighted to find that really you, the liberals, and you represent them in Europe, Canada, I understand, in Israel, and it was rather nice to find out that you represent both parties of liberals, Israelis, together. So I was very much impressed with the manifesto, and certainly the fact that the Liberal Manifesto speaks about respect for human person, for family, which are, and they are the basis of society. The fact that you think, really, I was delighted to find out that the state is only an instrument and not an aim in itself, as some of the people around this world, I'm afraid, think, is certainly a source of great delight. Really all that you stand for, I found out that I could vote for the Liberal Party practically. And needless to say that I was very much impressed by your emphasis of personal freedom, freedom of speech and of press, in spite of the fact that I am afraid that sometimes, at least in Israel, they are too free to speak, and what they know and what they don't know, that you are for equality of rights between men and women. I'm not a woman, but I certainly appreciate very much this idea, and that you feel that democracy is perhaps the best system that society, if it wants to be free, has to adopt, is certainly a very encouraging sign. As an Israeli, as President of the State of Israel, I was particularly impressed by your decisions concerning Israel in your Congress meetings of 75 and 76 and 77. They are encouraging to us to find out that we have in Europe among the liberals who understand what's going on in Israel. And it's rather nice to find out, because sometimes we ourselves don't understand what's going on in this area. So to find that we have friends among the liberals is certainly a very encouraging sign. I understand that in Western Europe you have about 20 million liberals.
At least.
At least.
But there are so many unknown liberals.
Who don't vote and hide. But at least 20 million, which is a considerable number. And it's certainly nice to find out that you have very many activities for the young people. And a school for freedom. That's a wonderful idea, to have a school of freedom, and to have the World for the Federation of Liberal and Radical Youth. I never thought that liberals are radical, but maybe for the young it's all right. So to have them liberals and radical at the same time. And many of your political decisions are really of great importance and show that liberalism is of enormous importance. And let me just say, as a scientist, I think that without liberalism, there are no cultural activities, there is no science, there is no art. And those who think that one can push all these intellectual activities in an atmosphere of pressure in an atmosphere in which one has no respect for human life and freedom of thought and activity, he is very greatly mistaken. So in this respect, I'm delighted to be with you here. I know that while you are here, you'll certainly be interested, you are interested in what's going on in our political life, and by now, what's going on with our negotiations with the Egyptians. We certainly hope that we'll reach a settlement, but it's ups and downs, and one has to take into consideration, as I mentioned to you, Mr. Thorne, that for us, many problems have to do, and once we are perhaps more stubborn than others, the reason is that we had difficult times for the last 30 years and before the establishment of the state, and we must have our security. And we have to press hard that independent of courageous people like Sadat or others, we will have security as far as the borders go, as far as the future of this country. So I hope that while you are here talking to our leaders, talking to various people, you'll find out what are the reasons for the various attitudes, stands that we take. And I want only to mention that don't be mistaken with what once I heard from Mr. Kissinger when he was shuttling back and forth, and he tried to correct the borders which we should have agreements, and he told me, look, what do you want? The whole area that you have to move, it's only 1 millimeter on my map. So I told him it depends on the scale of your map. And if you have a small country like Israel, so even 1 millimeter is of enormous importance. So let me thank you again, and I thought that perhaps let's have an informal discussion. You make any comment, any question that I can answer, I'll be delighted to, but feel completely at home. Feel like Israelis. They will not hesitate to ask questions in this house. So please.
Thank you.
You know, he's going to decide, you see.
Yeah, we know.
Mr. President, let me thank you on behalf of all my liberal friends, and let me thank you especially for the kind and warm and most friendly words you had for us. You know, before a party joins or can join the Liberal International, we ask them if they subscribe to the Oxford Declaration. But we never ask if they should read it. Once we found one who read it, who studied it, and who remembers what's in it. I mean, I couldn't dare doing so with a head of state, but I wanted to make you a liberal of honor, you see, after all you said about liberalism. And I simply have nothing to add to that, and simply says that we are all honored to be your guests, the guest of the president of this state, but the guest of the man you are, of the great scientist you are, and we all admire you and we appreciate it very much, whatever you did, all you did on your professional life as well as on the political side. We came here, as you said, to just to meet friends, our Israeli friends, both parties affiliated, and to take advantage of this opportunity to study, well, a bit more the problems. When we fixed the date, we didn't know that we were coming to Jerusalem just in such an, let's say, touchy time, at such an important time.
Don't worry, it's always a touchy time. So whenever you come, you are welcome.
And as we told the press, we think in this negotiation there are and there will probably be other ups and downs after all you lived through the last 30 years. could be only naive to think that a negotiation would last 1 day or 1 week and will be settled without any fallback. It's the duty of everybody to do its best to improve the situation, to resume talks. I remember during years we discussed how we could bring Israeli and Arab nations in contact, in direct talks. You remember when we discussed about Rhodos scheme and so on? Well, now finally it happened, and I think whatever was said yesterday and whatever may be said tomorrow in other places in this town, all the parties should never forget that things have changed and that they should never fall back to what was before November. And, well, that's just a human wish, but a liberal wish. We accept, I think, more than some other parties, a pluralistic world in politics. And I think people should talk together, and all I have to add to your words about mass media is that they are important, they are part of our liberalism, of our modern world, but we all, and that's why I'm going to stop, we all should perhaps refrain from too much statements at this stage of negotiations, but believe that all the people here present are your friends, are friends of Israel, and our first wish is that you find peace in secure borders.
Thank you so much indeed. So now let's have the
Yes,
informal
but before I want to mention only the countries where the liberals came here, except in addition to the Israelis, so we have Spain here, and Sweden, and Germany, Republic of Germany, and then they are Canada, and Switzerland, Austria, Norway, France, Denmark, Italy.
And even Luxembourg.
And Luxembourg. So I think that, and Holland. Holland.
It's such a low land.
The best friends are always forgotten.
Yes, I said no. I said no. Sweden, I said, I mentioned Sweden. So those are here, the liberals from those countries represented here. And we have the Secretary General, Mr. Richard Moore, who was an inspiration to all of us for many years. And now today we appointed a new Secretary General, a young man, Mr. Shatley, who is here. Looks like a young rabbi. A young Now, please, if anybody has any questions or to the President of the state or want to say something, please.
Well, let me say, Mr. President, how pleased I am to be in Israel and to tell you...
Please excuse me, Mr. Comunas is the chairman of the Committee of Foreign Relations of the Spanish Parliament now, from Madrid coming here.
And to tell you how impressed I am as a Spaniard of looking at Israel as a democratic and free country. Because in my country, democracy has not been always possible. And Israel, for me, today is an example that for many difficulties a country can have in a moment, democracy and liberty is always possible, and is the best way to cope and to resolve all questions. For us, Spaniards are very important this point, and it has been one of the things that I have appreciated most during my stay and visit to Israel. I don't have to say to Your Excellency that I would desire a very, very soon close relationship between our both countries. I can assure you that our both people are united since ever, and that in very soon I hope that we shall have the relations, diplomatic relations, that we shall always have between
Thank you so much. I'm quite certain that many of the representatives of the various countries here were waiting for some time till you'll come as a representative of, by now, a democratic system in Spain. We are looking forward for the establishment of closer ties with Spain and Israel. We feel there are many things which tie us together. It's not only the Mediterranean, but our old culture is connected with Spain. So many thanks indeed, and good luck.
Thank you.
Who else?
Well, I see everybody behaves very nicely. Please.
Perhaps you will permit me to ask what may be a rather delicate and difficult question. But we all know that in Israel there are a large minority of Arab citizens, full citizens with full legal rights, which in itself is a great privilege.